Hi friends, good morning to all of you. If you came to our YouTube channel for first time, please make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to hit bell icon. And in today's lecture, we will discuss about purchase order. So like briefly, we will discuss all the tabs in purchase order. So let me start. So first of all, let me take you to SAP screen. So we will discuss purchase order in latest version of SAP S4 HANA version 2023. So that's the latest release version from SAP end. So that's a create purchase order screen. So how we can create a purchase order? So we will use a T code ME21N. So that's a T code to create a purchase order. Just give ME21N in command prompt and hit enter. So that's screen you can see here. That's a create purchase order screen. So in that create purchase order screen, yeah, so in this create purchase order screen, particularly there are four areas. So there are four areas here. One is document overview on, another header area, third one item overview area, and fourth one item detail. So we will discuss each and every tab in these areas. So let me start from header, right? So you can see there are different tabs are available in header area like delivery, invoice, condition, text, address, communication, partner. So we will discuss like what's the business use for all these tabs. Same like that you can see in item overview. There are different tabs are there. So we will discuss like what's their significance and what's their business use. Item detail, same like that. So that's a SAP screen. We will come back again here. Yeah, so first of all, what is purchase order? What is purchase order actually? So purchase order is this is a formal request for the procurement of a material or services from the vendor. This contain vendor, material, quantity, price, plant, etc. And it also consists pricing elements like discount, freight charges, surcharges, etc. So if I can say like if some company just required some material, so they will create a purchase order. Their purchasing department will create a purchase order, right? So after creation of a purchase order, they will just send that to vendor or supplier, right? After that, the vendor will just acknowledge that document and he will just send a goods. Okay, so this is a formal request for procurement. Okay, and this is binded for both sides, like for vendor as well as for us. Like we are creating a purchase order, it's binded, it's a legal document, right? So T codes. So there are some important T codes. First one is to create PO. So to create PO, T code is ME21N. To change PO, T code is ME22N. And to display purchase order, T code is ME23N. So we will discuss each and every T code in details. So just give me some time. So if I just want to see the list of my PO, I can see using T code ME2N by numbers. If I just want to see the list of my purchase order through vendor, like as per vendor, so I will use T code ME2L. Like if I just want to see my list of my purchase order as per material, so I will use T code ME2M. We will discuss all these in details. So PO consists of four parts or four areas. One is header area, item overview, item detail, and document overview. So let me show you here again. This is a document overview on. This is header area. This is item overview. And this is item detail. Guys, this is S4 HANA 2023. So right now it's the latest version released by SAP. Right? So let me explain one by one like these tabs in header area, tabs in item overview, and what's the significance for that, what's the business use for that, right? And this is the most important topic for SAP MM, right? So header area, so this consists the below tabs. First of all, delivery invoice. So let me take you again to SAP screen. This is a delivery invoice tab. So here you can give your payment terms. Payment terms are just like a terms of a payment. For example, if you can see here, some standard payment terms are there: 0001, 0002. So 0002 is just like we will pay to the vendor within 14 days, and if we will pay within 14 days, there will be 2% cash discount will be there, right? So that's decided by, these payment terms are decided by vendor itself, right? Vendor or supplier. So these are some payment terms here, like that. If, like, if clients want to configure their own payment term, as a SAP MM consultant we can configure that, right? So usually that done by MDM consultant, but we will discuss that later on, how to configure payment terms. Once we will discuss the one vendor master record, master data for vendor master record, then we will discuss all these parts, right? Payment in, right? These are just for the payment terms, currency, if it's a EUR or INR, exchange rate, all these are mentioned here. And from where this data just came, it's came from vendor master record, it's copied from vendor master record. Then condition tab. So in condition tab, yeah, then text. So in text, in this we enter any text information, and this is related to all the material. What does this mean? What does this mean? Let me take you practical to SAP sandbox. So just see here, that's a text tab. We will come again to condition tab. So text tab is just like, if I just want to give some text like please pack all material, right? So here I can give any text, right? And this text will be applicable for all the line items. Right now it's only one line item here. If, let's suppose, I will take one more line item, let me take the same material. If I will take more than one line item, more than one line item means like, uh, let me just give you one practical example. You just want, your mom is saying to you, just go to market and just buy some milk, some bread, some butter, just go and buy that. So you will just make, you will go and you will just buy that. Like that, in companies, if we are just having the requirement for more than one material, for that same vendor test 01, that supplier test 01, then we can create a purchase order for more than one material, right? So we are doing same like that. So these are the mandatory data that we have to put in while we are creating a purchase order. We have to give material number, we have to give quantity, we have to give net price, currency, and plant. So this is the mandatory data in item detail tab. Yes. Yeah. So here you can see, like, please pack all the material. It's not only for this line item. It's also applicable for 20 line item 20. So for both the material, it's applicable. Please pack all the material. So if we just want to mention some text, we can mention from here, right? Then in this, we enter any text information, and this is related to all the material. Address. So this contains address of a vendor, and it's also copied from vendor master record. So let me show you. Here you can see address tab here. So these all, like street, postal code, country, everything is copied from vendor master record. and this is address like for this supplier test 01, right? I guess it's clear. Then communication. So in communication tab, we will just enter salesperson, telephone number, okay, and these information we will give. For example, like this is a salesperson, like whatever person is, like Amit is a salesperson, so we will give salesperson name here, and telephone number, his telephone number, your reference, our reference. These details you can maintain here in communication tab, right? Then partner. So the partner will carry out the functionality of a main vendor, like goods supplier, invoice parting, right? So let me give you one example for this, so that, yeah. So in partner, what will happen? Just let's take that practical example. Let's suppose you have a plant, and that plant is located in Hyderabad, right? And you just want some material, you just want to purchase some material, but that vendor, that supplier test 01 is like located in Himachal Pradesh or northern part of India, like in Delhi or in Himachal Pradesh, right? So what, like he will not going to send that material. What he will do? He will just he will just receive the payment. Otherwise, invoice and that goods will be transferred by some another vendor, and these vendor will work on the behalf of this main vendor when 01. So let's suppose I just want to take some another vendor for good supplier, right? And let me take some another vendor. Okay, so if you just want to take some another vendor for good supplier, if you just also want to take some another vendor for invoice parting, so you can take like that, right? So you can take like that. So as like you know, like from Delhi to Hyderabad, like transportation cost will be so much high. So what that test 01 vendor will do, he will just go for their partner vendors who are located to nearby area to Hyderabad. Let's suppose in Bangalore or in Mumbai. So they will going to supply the goods, they will going to do that invoice parting, right? Then additional data. So in additional data, we will just put the validity start, validity end. So in some purchase orders, there are like validity dates are there, like this purchase order will be from this validity date to this validity date, or the material validity is there. So in that case, we just use that tab, we just use that additional data. Or so I have to remove this that first. Okay, no issues. Or I can give that same test 01. Okay, no issues. Right. So like that, let me again open this. Yeah. So that's in header, in header area. There we just discussed partner. Now additional data. So in additional data, we can give the collective number, we can give the VAT number, all these details we can give in additional data tab. Then org data, this is mandatory, like you have to give this org data once you are creating a purchase order. So you have to give your purchase org, you have to give your purchase group, you have to give your company code, all these details you have to mention. So that's a org data, right? Then status tab, that's also important. So what's the status tab? So just see here, So ordered it's showing 100, right? Delivered it's showing 0. Still to deliver it's showing 100. Invoiced it's showing 0. Down payment is a blank here. So what you can see, like once we are going to create a purchase order, ordered will be that same quantity, right? Once that will be delivered by that supplier, then ordered will become 0 and delivered will become 100. So once we will do goods receipt using T code MIGO, once we will do goods receipt in our system, delivered will be updated to 100 and ordered will become 0, right? Once we will do invoice verification in our system using T code MIRO, then this will also update it, right? So this is a status tab, and that's the business use for that. It will be like just track all these details, like how many items is ordered. Let's suppose what happening is just like supplier is ordering this in two times, like 50-50. So what will happen, like it will show once 50 will be delivered, it will show ordered 50 and delivered 50, like that, right? So in the real time it will be just track, we can see the status here, right? Then again we will come back to condition tab. So in condition tab you can see PBXS, NAVS, SKTU. These are the pricing procedures, right? Let's suppose the vendor is saying, supplier is saying that they are going to provide us 10% discount for this material. So we will just take that 10% here, right? Like if non-deductible taxes will be that 10%, 15%, so we can take here. So these are the pricing procedures, right? And as a SAP consultant, we will learn about that, like how to configure the pricing procedure. Okay, as per the client requirement we can configure these pricing procedures. So in lectures, in upcoming lectures, we will discuss that how to configure the pricing procedures. So here just see like what's the business use for that, and what's these why this tab is relevant, right? Then Incoterms. So here like for pay, for domestic procurement there is a payment term. Same like that for international payment, or you can say for external procurement. For domestic procurement we just use payment terms, but for import procurement we just use Incoterms. So Incoterms detail we will mention here. So these all are tabs related to header area, right? So this is a timeout, I have to log in this again. It's okay, let me log in again. Yeah, so ME21 and hit enter. So from here I can go to my purchase order. So that's my purchase order and I will adopt that. Yeah, so we have discussed all these tabs in header, right? Now we will discuss about item overview. And before that I want to explain you that document overview on. So like how many ways are there to create a purchase order? I can create a purchase order by just giving all these details manually. All these details like org data, item overview, all these details I will just give manually, and I will just check and I will just save. So like that I can create a purchase order manually. But if I just want to create a purchase order with respect to another purchase order, how can I create? If I just want to create a purchase order with respect of my older purchase order that I have created last month, how can I create? If I just want to create my purchase order with respect of my purchase requisition, so how can I create a purchase order with respect of a purchase requisition? Like that, if I just want to create a purchase order with respect of a RFQ, request for quotation, how can I create that? So these we will also explain. RFQ, request for quotation, purchase requisition. Okay, so you just need to go in document overview on. and here just go in selection variant, and here you can see so many options are here. So you can see my purchase requisition, so you can open your all purchase requisitions. My purchase order, you can open all your purchase order. My purchase order on hold, whatever purchase order on hold, you can see that, right? So right now, like not a single purchase order is on hold, that's why it's showing no data. My purchase order, so I just created this purchase order, so that's showing here, right? Like that, if I just want to open purchase requisition, I can open, right? So like that, if I just want to create my purchase order with reference to this purchase order, I will just click that and I will just select on adopt, right? Like that I can create any purchase order. Let me show you. ME21, and let me go again. And guys, don't confuse like why I'm using /n before T code ME21N. So that's T code for if I just want to open a new screen, then I will use /n prior to my T code. This is T code to create a purchase order, but prior to that I just use /n, and that /n is just to open a new screen, right? To close that present screen and just open a new screen. So hit enter, document overview on, selection variant, and here you can see my purchase order. So here these all are the list of my purchase order. I will just select that. I will just click here, page icon, you can see adopt. So I will just click here, and with help of my last purchase order I can create a purchase order. So you can see all details are coming. Okay, so I just need to check. These all are warnings, we can ignore that and save. So now you can see purchase order is created. You can see this is my purchase order number. So if I want to save that on my notepad, I can save that, right? So I will save that. So this is my standard purchase order and this is my purchase order number, right? So what we have discussed so far, we have discussed document overview on tab. We have discussed all the tabs in header area. So we have discussed these two sections. So in next lecture we will discuss item overview tabs, like what's the significance and what's the details that are mandatory that we have to fill, and like what's that net price, currency, material group, what's a material group, what's a batch. We will discuss that in next lecture. All the tabs we will discuss, and same for item details we will discuss, right? So now I just want to yeah, so we will discuss how to change a purchase order. Like I have created a purchase order using T code ME21N. Let's suppose I just did some mistake. I just want to change that purchase order. So which T code I will use? So I will use T code ME22N. Let me show you. So I will use T code ME22N. Here again you can see I have used that /n prior to my T code, right? So hit enter. That means I'm just going to close that create purchase order screen, and change purchase order screen will open. So just give your T code and just hit enter. So here this display just came. So just go to other purchase order icon, and here just give your purchase order. So here I will give my purchase order number. So that's I have saved in notepad. So this is my purchase order number. So I will just paste that here and hit enter. So right now this is my purchase order, and I can change that. Whatever I just want to change, I can change. Let's suppose I just want to change a delivery date. I just want to take a delivery date to 25 of September. So I can take like that. I just want to change the net price from here. So I just want to give net price as Instead of a 10, I just want to give 20 euro. So I can change from here. So check, yes, and save. So you can see it's changed. You can see standard PO changed. Purchase order number will remain same. Whatever it is last time, it will be same. You can see that. So you can see from here that purchase order number is same, but the system is saying like standard PO is changed, right? If I just want to check, if I just want to display my purchase order, whatever changes I have made, I just want to display that. How can I do that? So I will use T code ME23 and hit enter. So that screen will open, right? And here again I will go to other purchase order icon, and here I will give my purchase order number. So my purchase order number, I can take, this is my purchase order number, hit enter, right? And you can see whatever I made the changes, like net price 20 euro, delivery date now changed. If like someone just want to track all these things, so just go in environment. What change we just did? We just did the item change, right? So okay, so I have to select that. I will go to environment, go to item change. So you can see Venkat01 have changed that using T code ME23, and you can see all these details. What I have changed the currency to 20 euro. You can see on which date I have changed, on 25. Okay, and what's the old value, what's the new value, everything you can see. And what is changed? Item delivery date changed, net price changed, net order value is changed, right? So you can track everything like that. Document number, what's T code is used for that, like that you can see, right? I guess it's clear, guys. So what's the use of ME21 and what's a purchase order? We have discussed in that lecture what is purchase order. What's a T code to create a PO, purchase order? What's a T code to change PO? And what's a T code to display PO? So we have discussed each and everything. And we have discussed header area and document overview area. So in next upcoming lecture, we will discuss item detail and document overview. So that's the lecture. So thank you, guys. We will meet again in next lecture. Thanks a lot. Make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel.